Hello and welcome back to my channel. I've decided that today is going to be a house renovation activities day. I've been inspired by somebody that I watch on Instagram who is trying to make really small incremental improvements to their home each day. And I'm inspired by that to do a couple of things that I would like, jobs that I just really want to get done in the house towards the renovation. And the first one is finishing this upcycling project behind me. I hate painting. If you are new here and you haven't watched any of my home renovation videos before, I hate painting. So what possessed me to do an upcycling project in the first place? I do not understand, but this has been half finished in my garage for months. Today is the day that I want to make just a little bit of progress towards it. It is primed and sanded. I have just done a light sand over the prime and wiped off any dust, and then I am going to attempt to paint it. Yeah, you can watch me and see how badly this goes. Firstly, remove anything that I don't want to get paint on. Got a small tray and a roller. You're facing completely the wrong way because of the sun, so I'm going to see if I can shift you to the other end. I've been trying to make a makeshift tripod that I can rest you against, and it's gotten quite ridiculous, so I'm just going to go and get the tripod. One of the most awkward things about doing anything in the house is the need to film it and making sure that everything is set up for me to do that. Here is the tripod in the shed where I left it the last time I recorded in the garden. Right, let's have another go. It's so sunny today that there kind of isn't a good place to put you. This is the same colour green as I have on the walls in my living room. And some of you are going to have watched me paint it and be absolutely horrified by my technique. But the aim here is not to be perfect, it is to get it done. This is only ever going to live in my house. I'm not upcycling to sell things or make a living. I just need this job done. So if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. I'm now going to find a paintbrush to fill in the gaps. But the first coat is done. I have learned a few things from this experience, namely that even though I don't care about the carpet that this is sat on, it's filthy, and so in order to get the bottoms right and not drag grass and dirt up into the paint, I probably should have put it on a clean tarpaulin or something. I'm going to leave that to dry and then come and figure out what to do with the second coat. Okay, so it's the same day, but I've changed my clothes because I've just been to town. The other job, that sort of reno job that I want to get done, is to move my office downstairs. So at the moment, so I work from home in my day job, and since I moved into this house, my work from home office has been in the spare room upstairs. but I'd really like to move it down into what was originally the dining room, where I now have beautiful big patio doors onto the garden. It's on the ground floor at the back of the house, so slightly less, or a lot less, distractions from being right on the front of the house and the road and all the traffic and the people. Not that where I live is especially busy, but it is something that sort of bothers me. This room, I'm going to flip the camera and just remind you what this room looks like. So this is the room that I'm talking about. Because it's at the back of the house and is north facing, it's much darker in here than the current office. And we have the door through to the kitchen here. I've just changed the camera zoom, so hopefully get a bit more of the room in at one go. So the long-standing intention with this room was that I would have some form of library unit here, on the back wall, even to the point I've forced this so much that I refused to get this wall plastered when I had all of the other walls in this room re-skimmed, because I knew I was going to cover them up with the library unit. Now, the reality is, it's going to be ages and ages and ages before I am able to put this room together in the way that I want. And so it's just been abandoned, and it has been a proper dumping ground for stuff for a really long time, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not being able to use this space for its intended purpose as my study, or have a proper spare bedroom upstairs because I'm using that as the office. So I have decided that the time has come to move the study downstairs and just work with what I've got. So my existing desk, my existing bookshelves, and just set myself up in here. So that is the job that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the weekend. First action though is tea and cake. The room is now clean and empty. I've left the floorboards here because I don't want to put them in the garage, so they're going to stay there for now. I've got my tools. Time to go upstairs and deconstruct the current office. So this is the current office setup. Exactly as I left it on Friday. My main focus right now is just going to be to move the desk and then see how everything else fits around it. I'm very hot and sweaty now. We're only about halfway through, if that. My throat's really sore. I hope I'm not coming down with something. Anyway, I digress. Let us look at how far we've got. So, this desk takes up way more space on this wall than I thought it was going to. I don't know why I thought it was going to take up less space than it takes up in the room that's exactly the same size as the other part of the house. But it does. And it's not leaving me a lot of places to put the bookshelves. So I think I'm going to spin it around and have it sit away from the back wall and then put the bookcases up there. Let's see what that looks like. Yes, I think this orientation is the only way it's going to work in this room with this desk. It means that that's my view, and I will sort of sit in the middle of the room. I can still look out of the window and see the beautiful sights, but when I'm on Zoom all day, I have a plain background, and that was one thing that has worried me about moving my office down here, is that if I'm facing this way on Zoom, you can see straight down into my kitchen, which is not super great for business calls. So I think that this is the way forward. I totally should have listened to my dad, who told me not to do this. He was absolutely right. This was horrible. But it's done now. It's not getting undone. So time to actually have a cold drink and cool down for a minute. And then start bringing down all of the office stuff and setting the office back up again. Set up. I've tested my monitors and sound. Eric is already ready for work. This is as much as I'm going to get done today because I am now very tired. I didn't have any lunch. I'm really looking forward to being able to start bringing more things into this space and making it feel homely. That's what's been really lacking in this room. And this is going to be my first opportunity to incorporate it into part of the home. That might happen tomorrow, so I'm not going to say fully goodbye for now, just in case, and we'll see what happens next together. Now I've got to figure out what to do with all of the mess that I've made. You all right, Peanut? And I've really badly scratched the floor upstairs when I was moving the desk top out of the old office. So I'm going to have to try and figure something out with that as well. But Not now. Not now. I'll see you in a bit. Good morning. It is the next day. I have slept on it and naturally have concluded that I hated the layout that we came out with yesterday. And I immediately needed to change it. So still in my pyjamas, I have reorganised the whole room again. And we're now looking at this kind of a layout. So I've spun the desk around 90 degrees, I think, yeah, 90. And shoved it into the corner with my back to the window, which is not exactly what I was hoping for. I wanted to be looking out of the window, but the space is just opened up a lot more again. Let me change my zoom. And it just feels less corporate officey and like possibly something that I can integrate into my home. Don't look at the mess behind me. I'll look at you from this angle. I'm going to see if I can bring down one of the bookcases today. But I also want to go and do a second coat on the chest of drawers in the garage. So we'll see how much gets done. Follow along to find out. Hello, I'm back in the garage coming to assess my upcycling sideboard that I painted yesterday. The weather is much nicer now. It's actually quite nice gardening weather, but I've promised myself I'm going to do a bit more progress on getting this finished so that I can go and have some lunch. It's looking quite nice. The sides are dreadful. They really desperately need to be repainted. There's just a couple of little nicks in the top. So I've got some wood filler, just some basic stuff. So I'm going to fill that and let that dry for a bit, and whilst I'm waiting I'm going to tape up the front because I actually didn't put the first coat on any of the front parts of the drawers yesterday. So I'm going to tape up, and then I'll do the first coat on the front and paint the sides, and hopefully by that point maybe the filler will be dry enough to sand and I can do a second coat on the top as well. And if I can get all that done in a relatively short space of time, I'm going to be pretty pleased with myself because, yeah, desperately just want to be able to tick this project off as done. This is what it looks like after our efforts yesterday. Not too bad. Ready for a second coat. As you can see, I have daubed a lot more paint around and it is starting to look quite nice. The filler on the top is not dry yet, so I'm going to have to leave this here for now and come back to it when I next get round to it, hopefully not too long away. Yeah, see what it looks like when it's dry. So I am going to say farewell for now. Thank you so much if you have made it this far through the video. I really appreciate your time. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this video. It's a bit of a different style of content from me, or something that I haven't done for a while, so I'd really appreciate your feedback as to if this is something that you're interested in, and I will see you in the next one.